Do me for hold this L.
Hold this L.
Hold this L.
Welcome to another episode of Hold This L with your host Lonnie and Capel. We back after 2 week layoff. Lonnie, how you doing, man?
Bro, I'm doing great. I'm a little sore. I've been doing some moving and stuff like that, so my body is absolutely, and not in its best shape at the moment. It's probably a good thing. I needed it, but everything been going well, man. You know, we had our little trip to Mexico. One of the reasons why we was gone for a week, and of course, we had a good time. So,
Definitely had a good time. If you haven't been to Puerto Vallarta, check it out. It's not the sexy name like Cabo, but you probably will have more fun, to be honest, because it's a combination of all kind of stuff to do besides just going out and partying. Real nice time. But that's not why the people here. They're not here to hear about our good time and get
yeah,
jealous and stuff.
but no, but
You know.
before what you been up to before we jump into it? What's been going on with you, bro?
Oh, nothing, man. I done just got back home and trying to get back in the swing of things. Um, been excited about this Marvel kick. I don't know if our listeners watch the Marvel movies and watch the TV shows, but been watching Loki. Haven't seen Black Widow, but we'll be seeing that in the next few days. I know you saw Black Widow.
Check it out. Check it out.
Definitely something exciting for me. But outside of that, man, I'm just relaxing until it's time for me to go back to work. That's about it.
No
And of
doubt.
course, following these sports.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So speaking of sports, let's go ahead and dive right into it. We don't have a lot of time. Before we get into that, just want to say that um, probably next Sunday will be our last show until football season. Um, if not next Sunday, the Sunday after that. It really depends on how far these finals go. If the finals happen to go to a game 7, we may have one more show because I'm not sure what the schedule says, but it may go into the following week, like late, like early in that following week. But the way they're going right now is looking like the finals going to be over by next Sunday.
Right.
So more than likely, our last show is going to be next week, and we won't have another. We won't come out again until football season starts. So I want to go ahead and say that up front. Don't want to forget and just disappear for like a month and nobody knows where the hell we went. But back to this basketball. It's been it's first of all, who in the hell would have thought we would have had a finals with the Bucks and the Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks? I would have never in my wildest dreams thought that. If somebody put big money on the I mean not the Hawks, the Phoenix Suns. I'm sorry, the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks. If somebody would put big money on the Phoenix Suns, the odds for them to be in the championship at the beginning of the year, they swimming in dough right now. If
Hmm.
anybody made that bet, now I don't know if anybody made it because it at the beginning of the year it would have been have thought to been an asinine bet, a ridiculous
You know
bet.
somebody made it though.
But if somebody made that bet and put big money down, it's not just making the bet, but putting big money down is the
Yeah.
is the key. Then yeah, somebody is making a lot of money right now. But that's what we are. Phoenix Suns, Milwaukee Bucks. Right now, Suns are down. I mean, Suns are up 2-0. What's your thoughts on this series, man?
Man, my first thought is, didn't I pick Phoenix to win it all?
After you changed it, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to look.
I
I just
mean,
want to.
once you change it, to me, once you change it from your original, it is whatever. Your
Yeah, but I
original is
changed
what
it really.
counts.
I changed it really early though. Like after the first round, nobody was
You
still
the
giving the
answer to your
Phoenix
question,
Suns.
the answer to your question is yes. You picked the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, he not gonna let me justify it, y'all. But no. But with that being said, bro, I'm just with everything going on. I'm actually very surprised that Phoenix has come out and basically dominated the first 2 games the way they have. And when I say dominated, it hasn't looked like the Bucks should even be there against them at this point. And I probably would give them that if Giannis didn't look as good as he looks. Like that dude's a freak. I mean, how is he playing the way he playing, bro? I know you saw that injury. I know you saw it. And even though he didn't have any structural damage, which I don't know how he didn't have no structural damage if you saw it, but bro, I was when they were talking about he was doubtful and questionable. I'm like, he ain't gonna be. No, he look 100%.
Mhm.
And it goes back to what you always say about Chris Middleton. Where is
Well,
he?
I haven't said it on here yet, but I'm definitely
Well,
about
no,
to
I'm
get
just
into
talking.
it.
I'm just talking
Yeah.
about our conversations in general about him and his disappearing acts. But him and Drew Holiday, neither one of us brought it to the table. And I was listening to something that was saying the Bucks just look like they're happy to be there, and the Suns look like they're there to win it. Even after game 2, when the Bucks were losing, you could see Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday smiling and stuff like that. So I just think the mentality is different. Hopefully that's gonna change, today in game 3. But man, Bucks got to do so. Well, I mean, Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton just got to come offensively to play. Defensively, they coming, but offensively, they got to step up and help Giannis, in my opinion. In my opinion, they're gonna get swept or to be over in 5.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be over in 5. I think the Phoenix is gonna take one. They're gonna take Game 4. I think the Bucks are gonna win this one. That's what happens. You're back against the wall and you come out guns blazing. All Phoenix has to do is get one. They did their job, and I think they gonna get that Game 4. Chris Paul is one of those players who's not gonna let Phoenix relax because they up 2-0. He has something to prove. He knows this is probably his only chance to win the championship. Because let's be honest. A lot of things fell in their favor for them to get to where they are. AD being hurt with the Lakers, because we clearly saw the Lakers about to pull away with the series before AD got hurt. Then Denver. I mean, Denver didn't have any extra injuries during the playoffs, but Jamal Murray not being there was a factor. I'm not gonna say they wouldn't have beat Denver because Phoenix is a good team, but Kawhi getting hurt definitely propelled them to beat the Lakers. Most people think that the Clippers. Most people think the Clippers probably would have won with Kawhi. I'm not gonna go as far as to say that because Phoenix is playing really good basketball, but it definitely would have been much more of a series, Game 7 probably, and I wouldn't have been surprised if I had to put my money on it. I probably would have picked the Clippers if Kawhi was playing. So Chris Paul is on the back end of his career. He doesn't have much time left. He knows this is his last shot, his only shot. If he doesn't win it, he'll never get back. All these people saying, "Oh, the Phoenix Suns, they for real, they bona fide. They are a good team. They will be they will be good in the West for years to come. But they're not better than the Lakers. They're not better than the Clippers. In my opinion, they're not better than a healthy Denver Nuggets team. Um, so there's, and I'm not gonna say they're not better. They're about a wash. Maybe I'm not gonna say they're not better, but they're closer to even, and that's with Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? So when you
They're
just look
not
at
better
the
than a healthy Golden State, in my
oh
opinion.
yeah, you're right. I didn't think about Golden State because when you bring in Clay,
Clay, that
that
changes the
just changes
game, bro.
everything. So it is Phoenix is good, but they're they're just not that team. And I mean, I'm sorry, I can't give them the credit. I give them the credit for making it there. I give them the credit for. I think they're gonna win it because I think this says more about the Milwaukee Bucks, in my opinion, than it says about the Phoenix Suns. Just being honest, I'm about to dive into Milwaukee Bucks in just a second. But Chris Paul is not going to let his team have that mentality or lose that momentum. He's going to
Mm-hmm.
come out like they're down 0-2 instead of up 2-0, and they're going to play hard. I wouldn't be surprised if they sweep the Bucks. I'm serious. I would not be
I
surprised
agree.
if they sweep the Bucks. But I do think the Bucks gonna get this one at home, and then the Suns gonna win the next two, finishing it Game 5 in Phoenix for their fans and having a great celebration. Now on to the Bucks. The Bucks are not who people thought they were, and I feel like people are they're acting like now they're finally realizing it. I realized it when they were playing Atlanta that the Bucks were not who we thought they were because as good as Atlanta played, Atlanta should not have been in contention with the Bucks. They just shouldn't have. They shouldn't have according to what we think the Bucks are. And let me explain. Most people see the Bucks superstar Giannis. Then most people see they have two number twos, even though Drew Holiday is playing the number 3 role and Chris Middleton is playing the number 2 role. But let's be honest. On what team in this league would Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday be a number 2 and that team is a contender for a championship? Go ahead, I'll wait. For the people in the back, for the people that think Chris Middleton great, for the people that love Drew Holiday so much, on what team in this league right now would you pair them with a superstar and that team would be a contender for a championship?
Yeah, you're gonna be waiting a while.
Exactly, because they're not number twos. They're number threes. Both of them are number threes. They have a typical that the typical number three pattern where they can play. Everybody knows their potential, but they're inconsistent. They have big enough games for people to look at them in a light that they're not really that they shouldn't really be looked in. But they're not number twos. Most number twos, true number twos, or can be number ones. It's more like 1A, 1B. Think about the
Yeah.
championship teams that have top two players. Those players are consistent. They do what they do consistently. And then the number three is the one that comes along and sometimes has a big game, but they're not consistent in giving you 20 plus, 10 plus, 20 plus rebounds, 10 plus points, 20 plus rebounds, 20 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, 20 plus points, maybe close to 10 assists, whatever it is. That's not what a number three is doing, which is why you see such inconsistent play from Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. And it's always been like that. It's just highlighted in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So what you see from the Milwaukee Bucks is they have a super number one superstar in Giannis, and a number two who's really a number three trying to fill that role. And we put so much on Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton is who he is. He's getting paid like a number two. Drew Holiday is getting paid like a number two, even though he's on that three role. Drew Holiday is in his role, but people see him as more than what he really is.
Mm-hmm.
If you accept what Drew Holiday is, a defensive point guard, then you're getting what you're supposed to get from him. What you're not getting is what you want to get from Chris Middleton as a true number two, because he's not one. So when I really just thought about it and broke it down and looked at the trajectory of Chris Middleton's career and looked at where they are and looked at a team like the Phoenix Suns, I'm not surprised anymore that the Bucks are struggling so much.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the pieces.
Yeah.
They don't. They benefited too. They benefited from a weak playoff schedule, because that's what they had. They had a weak playoff schedule. Then they benefited, and when I say weak, I'm talking about playing a Brooklyn team that had injuries all over the damn place.
Right.
Because if they would have played Brooklyn without one of those injuries, they would have lost. We clearly saw that.
Right.
Then they benefited from, I ain't gonna lie, they didn't play the 76ers, but if Ben Simmons wasn't so mentally weak this year, they would have been in the finals with Milwaukee. And the Bucks would have lost to the 76ers.
Right.
So I'm not surprised. I don't even really have much to say as far as analysis go. I mean, I'm gonna say some stuff, and I'm gonna let you jump in real quick. But I don't have much to say as far as analysis go when it comes to the Milwaukee Bucks. But they're just not that team. Phoenix Suns is gonna win in 5.
Well, I mean, the analysis is real simple for the Milwaukee Bucks. Everybody on the team except Giannis is inconsistent. And when I say everybody, I'm not just talking about Middleton and Holiday. I'm talking about Connaughton. I'm talking about DiVincenzo, even though he ain't playing. I'm talking about Bobby Portis. I'm talking about Brook Lopez. Bobby Portis is probably the most consistent as far as what he brings to a table on a night in, night out basis, and he come off the bench. But I mean, PJ Tucker, you know what you're gonna get out of PJ Tucker. Defense, and no scoring.
That's
I mean,
he's consistent. You're right.
He is consistent. But offensively, they have
Uh-uh.
no consistent players except Giannis. And guess what? If you can stop him from getting to the basket, he ain't consistent either, because he can't score unless he's under the basket. So that's the difference between the Phoenix Suns. You got two people on the Phoenix Suns that you know every single game what they're going to give you. Chris Paul and Devin Booker are consistent. You're going to get 20 plus points. You're probably going to get 8 to 10 assists. You're going to get 4 or 5 assists from Devin, but you know what they're bringing. You know what's coming. The only way they don't give you that consistency is if they have a bad shooting night, and that happens very seldom. I think I've literally seen Chris Paul and Devin Booker have bad shooting nights together 2 times in this whole playoffs.
But Aiden is also consistent.
Yes,
Aiden's
very,
consistent
very
too.
much so.
Yeah.
But scoring, but really, I'm talking about offensively. They don't even need him to score offensively.
Yeah.
Because like that third guy that you're talking about, they always seem to have somebody in that role, and it's different people. So they always have that that third option. Consistently, they have that third option. It just comes from different people. Jay
That's true.
Crowder, Mikael Bridges, Cam Johnson, even Cameron Payne had a good game, when Chris Paul was down. So, I mean, they always have that third guy step up. But Chris Paul and Devin Booker's going to bring it every night. And they're going to have somebody else step up. You just never know who it. What, Mikael Bridges had 30-something points a couple games ago? Like,
I think it was the last game.
yeah, so where does that come from? So that's the thing with Phoenix to me, and you cannot tell me there's not a single person you gonna come out on Milwaukee's team and be like, they're gonna have this guy's gonna do this guy's the only person gonna come and gonna bring it every single night is Giannis.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And when it really comes down to it, in my opinion, it comes down to the coaching. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks lose, especially if they get swept or go 5 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a new coach. And the reason why I say that is because most people, even though I'm saying that Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday are like number 3 options, but they're playing like number 2/2B roles, that's not what the majority of people gonna believe. That's not what the majority of people think. The majority of people is gonna sit there and say, how could the Milwaukee Bucks lose in such fashion to the Phoenix Suns if they do lose this way? Because it's not over. Like, the Bucks could come out of nowhere and take this to Game 7 and end up winning. It's possible. To be honest with you, if you look at it from the perspective of home court advantage, the Suns did what they supposed to. They won at home. If the Bucks come back and win at home, do what they supposed to, then hey, I mean, we got a ball game. It was the same thing that happened in Brooklyn. Brooklyn went up 2-0, and then what did the Bucks do? They won 2. And of course, different circumstances, but that's the reality of what happened. But if it happens the way we think it's going to happen, and the Bucks end up losing, then Mike Budenholzer could get fired. Because when you look at the Bucks, you see them as a dominant team over the Suns. Like, I don't know many people who looked at the Suns and said, I think the Suns should win this. Besides Phoenix fans, and maybe some other people who like really analyze the matchup. But most people look at the Bucks and say they head and shoulders above the Phoenix Suns, or not head and shoulders, but they should win this. And if they lose in 4 or 5, how could you not look at the coach? How could you not consider firing him? But when you also think about it, what kind of ball movement do you see with the Milwaukee Bucks?
Exactly.
I am so tired of seeing Giannis back up and then just bully his way to the basket. It's not working. Like, just because you put up 40-something points or 30-something points and 15 rebounds, if you're losing, it doesn't mean anything. People you could be the sorriest team in the league. Somebody gonna put up points on that team. Doesn't mean that person is good.
And that's the problem, because you know why? Like, they were talking about it the other night, that 20-point third quarter. Well, all it did was get Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton out of rhythm, because all they were doing is standing around watching you. Like, bro, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was my next point. And like you said about Budenholzer getting fired, no, I think he should. First of all, you just said it a little while ago. If you want a defensive-minded point guard, you have that in Drew Holiday. Why is Giannis bringing the ball up the court?
Because he's not LeBron.
But you have a point guard. Even if LeBron knows he has a good point guard, he will let that point guard bring it up the court. He will fall back. He will come off screens. He will cut. Why do we never see Giannis doing any of that? Why is Drew Holiday not running the offense and Chris Middleton coming off picks, Giannis coming off screens? Why don't we see any of that? We see no ball movement, no actual plays getting run. We just see, like you said, give the ball to Giannis. Y'all all step the hell back and let him drive, and if they converge, he'll kick it.
It don't seem like they have any offense. And if they do have an offense, they don't run it, because you can't allow Giannis to push the ball up the court when he doesn't have the skill set of a floor general. He's not a floor general. Like, that people get into this trend of having a certain type of player because they see success. LeBron, even though he wasn't like the first point forward, you can look at somebody like Scottie Pippen and say he did it as well. Draymond Green does it. But what makes LeBron great is he can bring the ball up the court, but he has the vision of a point guard. He knows how to facilitate. He knows how to lead a team. He knows how to get people in place. He can change the play. He can like audible the play. He can sense what the defense is going to do. That's not a skill. Like that's a skill, but it's not something that you just learn. It's something that you know and you get better at it. Like it's like if I'm fast, I can work on becoming super fast. But if I'm not fast, I can get faster, but I'm not gonna be world class talent. That's what LeBron has. He has that in him. Chris Paul has that in him. Steph Curry has that in them. Those are point guards. They have that mentality. Giannis is a guy who's big, who can dribble the ball, who can handle the ball, but he's not a point guard. When he pushes the ball up the court, he doesn't have that same vision, that same leadership potential, that same IQ that those guys have. He shouldn't be pushing he shouldn't be pushing the ball up the court as much as he does. Now, would it be a change of pace for him to do it? Yes. Is it beneficial at times? Yes. But it shouldn't be the majority of the time. It shouldn't be him pushing the ball up the court all the time. Drew Holiday should be the one running that team, running that offense.
I feel like they fall back in the moment and that's where coaching comes in, because that's what you've always done. There was a reason you brought in Drew Holiday, to change what you have always done, because guess what? It has not been worked.
Yeah, and they didn't have a point guard, because when you think about it,
point exactly.
Like they had Eric Bledsoe running the point, but he is a shooting guard.
But that's why you look at it and you're like, okay, maybe it's not Budenholzer. Maybe they need to make some moves. Well, now you've made the move. The front office made the move and said, okay, clearly we don't have a point guard. We need a point guard. We need somebody who can run the offense. The front office saw it. Budenholzer, we're going to help you out. We're going to get probably one of the best guys, intelligence, going to play defense. And guess what? Most teams you play these days, they have a really, really good point guard. So you're usually going to see that in the finals. So who better else than to get one of the best defensive point guards who can score and facilitate the offense? But guess what? I've decided I'm just not going to use him that way. I'm going to let him stand over in the corner and wait for Giannis to kick him the ball. It just don't make any sense to me. You remember I told you not long ago, we were talking about, and I said, man, look at the shooting numbers. Giannis got like 25 shots. Chris Middleton got like 18 shots. Drew Holiday got 10. If you had to make me guess, he's just as good of a shooter, if not better, than Chris Middleton, and he's shooting a third of the shots than both of them. I'm like, does anybody know what Drew Holiday brings to the table offensively and what he can do?
I mean, and I agree with you, but I also can see a scenario where Drew Holiday takes 10 shots and he does his role. Yeah. If you look at those 10 shots he takes, if he has like 12, 13 assists or 9 or 10 assists or more, then clearly you see it's beneficial for Middleton and Brogdon. I mean, I said Brogdon because I'm about to say something about Brogdon. And Giannis. But when Giannis has 25 shots and he hit 6 of them, you know what I'm saying? Right. And Middleton has 18 and he hit 7 of them, then and then you look at the style of play where it's not Drew Holiday facilitating those shots for them. It is them trying to get their own shot. And then you say to yourself, why is Drew Holiday, who was 8 for 10, why is he not shooting more? That's when you say that, because you look at the style of play. But if you look at Drew Holiday and he 8 for 10, and then Giannis is like 17 for 25, and Middleton is 13 for 18, and Drew Holiday has 13, 12 assists, then you like, Drew Holiday did his job. He didn't need to shoot the ball more because he was facilitating. Right. But that's not what happens. Yeah. So there's a scenario where he could take less shots and still be effective. You see that in Chris Paul all the time. Chris Paul have like 10, 11, 12 shots. He got 15 assists. So it's a lot with that team. It's not even, I think it's front office too, because like I said, I was about to bring up Brogdon. The general manager is supposed to be that person that evaluates talent and knows who to keep and who to get rid of. They messed up when they got rid of Brogdon. People can say it's easy to see that now, but I thought it was a mistake when they did it. Because when they made that trade for Bledsoe, I thought that was a mistake. And they kept Bledsoe because because he had so much money on his contract, and they thought that he was going to be an integral piece of their offense. Malcolm Brogdon was a rookie of the year. He was very talented. You drafted him first round. He showed how good he could be, and you traded him. Look at him now. How valuable would he be right now on that team?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's part of it too. The front office is looking like they're making mistakes. And then with Mike Budenholzer, he's just not. I don't think he's the coach for that team. He's one of those coaches where he can probably get you to be a good team in general, but when it comes to championship level, you got to have more. You got to be an X's and O's guy. You got to be able to change the way you play. Like I bring up Ty Lue, even though they didn't win against Phoenix, you saw the adjustments. He was handicapped because he didn't have one of his best players, and Paul George, which the rest of that team is not a great team. But you saw the changes that he made. You saw every game. You saw the difference in lineups. He had different starting lineups almost every game to combat what the other team was doing. Like that's when you see coaching. Steve Nash, same thing. You didn't see coaching, but he probably will. I'm not gonna say probably. I mean, because I have no idea, but I would be surprised if he loses his job if the Bucks like lose in this fashion. If they go 7 games and lose, they may keep him, but I would still look to replace him even if they lose. Just flat out losing, because in my mind, if I'm the Bucks owner, why are we losing to this team? Like my mindset is this: we should not lose to the Phoenix Suns. Period. We have a 2-time MVP, 1-time defensive MVP. We shouldn't be losing to this team who doesn't have anybody who can hold a candle to him. And we got Chris Middleton and, and Drew Holiday. Whatever, man. If he should lose his job, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. You got anything else on this series? Got game 3 coming up today. We'll see what happens.
Well, the only thing I got left to say, and I don't want to. I got to jump on the bandwagon. So, last thing I can say about this series is Suns and 4.
I wish you could bring that guy on and interview him, man. If people don't know what we're talking about, this guy, he you know what? Let's hold it to the end. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's move on. Team USA. The Olympics they're coming this year, and they'll be starting soon. And we got our Team USA basketball. We started with the little exhibition a day ago, and Team USA played against Nigeria. They're being led by, I'm doing air quotes for those who are listening, they're being led by the best player in the world, Kevin Durant. And they lost to Nigeria, led by Bam Adebayo. Oh, no, Bam is playing with us. He didn't even play with Nigeria. And we lost, with Bradley Beal. Who's on this Team USA roster?
Dang.
Let me pull it up real quick, man.
A bunch of max players, I can tell you that.
And when people start talking about who like the top 5 players are, the best players in the league, a lot of those people are not on this list. But then a lot of people want to debate who are the top players. This is the reason why there's no debate, because when you take these people that you want to throw into the mix and you put them on the team and they lose to a team like Nigeria, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to read this list real quick. Bam Adebayo, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Jeremy Grant, Jeremy fucking Grant. Okay, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum. Why the hell is Kevin Love on Team USA?
Sympathy.
Why is Kevin Love on Team USA?
Well, from what I read, and it was a, we need one. We need one.
Man, they got Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine close enough.
So that's what I read. I heard it was a sympathy pick, man. But bro. All them
Like
people,
Christian Laettner.
yeah, yeah. And I just, yeah, right. That's he's our new Christian Laettner. But I just want to put out there that three of them people that you named, just so y'all know, they not on the team right now, so we ain't gonna put them out there bad like that. Which is Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Devin Booker. They're in the finals. They're not playing right now, so I
The
just want to
only
put that
one
out
of
there for
those
them.
players, listen, the only one of those players to me that matters is
It's Devin
Devin
Booker.
Booker.
Yeah, but I can't. I don't want to bring up the other two without bringing up Booker. I just wanted to put it out there for everybody
I
that them
feel
three
you.
not there.
I feel you.
They don't deserve the credit for the disgrace of what happened last night. So I just didn't. I didn't want to even put none of them in that category.
Look, you're missing you don't have, and I get it. These players have been in the Olympics and they won medals, but still, Steph Curry, AD, LeBron, Chris Paul. I don't think Joel Embiid is one in the Olympics. I know he's hurt, but he's not there. Harden is not there. Who else am I missing?
I mean,
Bona
he's
fide
not a great.
superstars.
He ain't a bona fide superstar, but he
Kyrie,
always seemed to.
Kyrie's not
He
there.
always seemed to bring it in the Olympics. So I got to put his name out there, Melo. Melo
Melo.
is like a superstar, Olympic superstar.
That's true, but I would also say that right now he's not a premier
Yeah.
player in the league. I'm naming premier players in the league. Um, Donovan Mitchell. Why the hell is Donovan Mitchell? Probably because of injuries. Yeah,
Injury.
Donovan Mitchell's not there. Like, dude, all those players would dwarf the rest of this list. Like right now, the only people on this list that I would want to keep: Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, and maybe Jason Tatum. Maybe Jason Tatum.
Y'all keep Tatum.
And the reason why I say maybe is because once I start really breaking it down and looking at all the other players, it may not be room for Jason Tatum. Because he's coming up, but he ain't there yet with some of these other players in the league when you're talking about having what is like maybe a 14, 15-man roster or something like that. But Middleton, no. Kevin Love, no. Levine, no. Holiday, no. Draymond Green, no. Jeremy Grant, hell no. Bam Adebayo, no. These are not players I look at and say, oh, yeah, we're going to run away with it. No. So, Kevin Durant, let's see how great you are. Let's see how great you are. You're going to lead this team of second-tier stars is what I call it. Because Kevin Durant and Dame Lillard, they're the only bona fide superstars. You can throw Booker in there right now if you want to. To me, he's borderline.
He's going to be starting him and Bill both.
I know he's going to start, but I'm saying like superstars. Like some people are calling him a superstar now. Some people are saying he's right there at the door. You can call it, whatever. If you want to throw him in that mix, Booker, Durant, and Lillard, and I guess say Bradley Beal.
Yeah, you got to get Beal that.
But Bradley Beal is more of that. Really, to me is Lillard and Durant, because Bradley Beal is more that 1B player, 1B2 player. He's not gonna lead a team to a championship. He can shoot the lights out, but
not by himself. But hey, we've seen what he can do with mediocre talent. He can put up some numbers if he actually has some good talent around him.
Yes, he can put up numbers. I'm talking about winning games.
Yeah, well, you
plays for Washington.
You can't do it by yourself. Trust me.
Exactly. There are a few people who can take a team by themselves and make them and propel them to win.
Yeah.
We've seen Durant do it, not in a championship level, but we've seen Durant be the man on the team with a team that had good players, but not a lot of greatness, and they still be good. And you've seen Dame Lillard
in the league that can do that. LeBron and KG.
No, the championship levels. I'm not talking about championship levels. I'm talking about just being a good team. Like, look at Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard is a superstar, but what stars do he have playing with him?
No, I'm with you.
He has good players. So that's my point.
The Wizards don't even have good players.
Listen, the Wizards don't have good players. I'm not saying the Wizards have good players. But what I'm saying is when you look at Bradley Beal, you look at somebody that could put up points. But you don't see leadership quality. There's nothing about Bradley Beal when you look at him that says, oh, man, I want that guy leading my team. You want him because he can put up points. You want him because he can shoot. You know what I'm saying? He's not that guy. Yeah. But Kevin Durant clearly has shown some leadership, even though he's not an ultimate leader. He's shown that he can carry a team and put them on his back. Dame Lillard shown that he can put a team and carry them on his back. That's why they're considered superstars. and not just stars or really good players. That's why I said Kevin Durant, Dame Lillard, and maybe Booker, because people starting to look at Booker. People are starting to look at Booker as a possible superstar because of where he is right now in these finals, getting to where he is, even though we know that a lot of that credit should go to Chris Paul, if not all of it. So it's really Dame Lillard and Kevin Durant. Bradley Beal's not a superstar. You may call him that, but he ain't a superstar.
No, I'm not gonna say a superstar, but I think he's a star. But I don't think Devin Booker's much better.
I agree. I'm saying Devin Booker because of what other people. I'm saying Devin Booker because of what other people are going to probably look at him as.
And the reason I just give Bradley Beal the boy was going we thought was going to lead the NBA in scoring until Curry just went bonkers, but he was going to lead the NBA in scoring if Curry wouldn't have just.
Yeah, you're right. And but look at which one of them was an MVP candidate.
No, I agree.
And why was Bradley Beal not an MVP candidate? Because Russell Westbrook is the one that propelled that team to the playoffs, not Bradley Beal.
They both did, in my opinion.
They both did. You always got to have help. But if you take away Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook is leading the team. He's getting everybody involved. You take away Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal is just putting up his numbers. That's the difference. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about.
They didn't win no more, no less games with Russell Westbrook versus Bradley Beal being out. They looked horrible when Bradley Beal
look horrible, period. Yeah, but they look more like a team when Russell Westbrook is playing. No, they look better. If you watch Washington without Bradley Beal, they look more like a team because Russell Westbrook passes the ball. He gets other people involved. Like, you can't have 15 assists in a game without getting your teammates involved. Russell Westbrook get this bad rap like he's a selfish player. No, he's not. He's not manufacturing assists. He's not like, going laying the ball up and moving people out the way and say, "Here, you take the shot, buddy, so I get my numbers up." No, he's facilitating. That's what a point guard does. Russell Westbrook deserves way more credit than he gets. And my point is when Russell Westbrook was on their court, you saw them look more like a team. Because he facilitates.
I disagree because I know Bradley Beal can do that too, man. I done seen Bradley Beal.
Man, we done seen Bradley Beal play without Russell Westbrook, and Bradley Beal he kills it with points, not with assists.
I think he get assists too. He usually have 8 to 10 assists, man.
Not 8 to 10. He go from 3 to 4 assists to maybe 5 or 6.
Nah.
Yeah.
I think he gets that even with Russell Westbrook. Because everybody talk, I don't think he should get a bad rap for facilitating. But Russell Westbrook, the difference in my opinion with Bradley Beal on the court, you'll have Bradley Beal give you 25 to 30 points and maybe 5 or 6 assists. Yeah, Russell Westbrook gonna get you 15 assists, but he gonna have 11 points and shoot 3 of 25. Yeah, he gonna have to get assists because he can't score. When you only have 12 points, you gotta pass it. He can't shoot.
Nobody is comparing their shooting ability. No, we're talking about the team game. We're talking about the team game.
I feel like they competed identically.
You got to remember, Bradley Beal missed a whole lot of games this year.
Yeah,
and a lot of them towards the end. And who propelled them to make up those games to make the playoffs? Who was that person?
When they made their run in the playoffs, both of them were healthy.
No, Bradley Beal came at the end. Bradley Beal came at the end. Because remember, Bradley Beal was missing a lot of games, like with the last 15, 20 games left. He was missing a lot of those games. Go back and look it up.
He missed about
and then when he came back, he was still injured. Then when he came back, he was still injured. Yes, but they were on their way before he came back. That was Russell Westbrook.
That was both of them.
You act like you weren't playing them in fantasy. It was not. It was not both of them because what Bradley Beal missed the majority of those games towards the end.
Bradley Beal averaged about 30 points a game. Was he a must play for you in fantasy when Russell Westbrook wasn't playing?
No, he was not.
He was for me. And I'm going to tell you something. He was putting up 50 and 60 fantasy points, and he only giving you 30 and scoring. What are the other ones coming from? Assists.
No. Go and look at his average. When he played without Russell Westbrook this year, he was not a highly percentage-owned player. Not like he was the years before Russell Westbrook came.
Go look at them fantasy points.
No, I remember because people stop playing him because when it's just like with Middleton. You remember last year when Middleton played without Giannis, everybody like Middleton was like 80% on.
Mhm.
Well, when Russell Westbrook didn't play with Bradley Beal, at first Bradley Beal was like super high percentage on. But without the games, like, because Russell Westbrook wouldn't play back to backs and stuff like that early, and then it'd be Bradley Beal. He wasn't putting up those monster numbers. He wasn't giving you 60, and I say he can give you 50 easy, but he's also $9,500.
That's
So,
why he wasn't high
so,
percentage on. If he was 8,000, he'd be a lock.
but
That was the only
8,000. Russell Westbrook got up to $12,000 this year.
I agree.
He was putting up 70 in his sleep. Like, I hear you, cuz you got to go back and remember how many games and how hurt Bradley Beal was. Like, Bradley Beal is good, but Russell Westbrook is what propelled that team to the playoffs this year.
I mean, I feel you, but like I say, man, I got to get a dude. I mean, he led the NBA in scoring. Damn near
I'm not taking his props away. I'm not taking his props away. He can shoot. Bradley Beal is an Olympic player. He should be on that team. Again, when I made my comment, I was talking about bona fide superstars.
We're talking about stars.
No, he's a star. I said superstar. Bradley Beal's not a superstar. He is a star.
Yeah, but if that's the case,
Kevin Durant and Dame Lillard. That's it.
In my opinion, there's only about 4 or 5 superstars in the league. I mean,
there's more than that. You got AD a superstar, LeBron a superstar, James Harden a superstar, Kyrie a superstar, Kevin Durant is a superstar, Dame Lillard is a superstar, Steph Curry is a superstar. That's 7 right there.
7.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but when we're talking about,
if you're gonna ask me, I don't even consider Joel Embiid a superstar at this point. He hasn't done enough for me to. And Giannis, maybe.
Giannis is a superstar.
Yeah,
and
but
I wouldn't call Joel Embiid a superstar, but some people would.
I know.
I wouldn't call him a superstar.
But I wouldn't. I think they stars.
Giannis is not. Giannis is a superstar.
No, Giannis is no. I said like Jokic. No, Giannis is a rock star. No,
Jokic is a star. He's not a superstar. Chris Paul, in many people's eyes, Chris Paul is a superstar. So. But when you have like about 9 or 10 superstars and then you see 2 of them on the Olympic team, that's my point. Yeah. There's only 2 of them on the Olympic team.
Well, a lot of it is a lot of the other ones got hurt.
I know, but my point is, as far as this team, to me, it's not a lock because you only have 2 of them on the team.
It still should be a lock. It still should be.
Should be a lock. And being a lock is different. Do you look at that roster and say they're going to run through the Olympics? Do you look at that roster and say, man, they're going to run through the Olympics, no problem?
No, I still think they should.
Should and do you think are 2 different things. When you look at that roster, do you think that?
Let
me read it again.
No, I got you. With that roster, with the roster you just said, I still expect it.
I don't expect it because of the names on this roster. I feel like this roster. I think they're going to win it? Yes. Do I think they're going to run through it like the way a Team USA should in basketball? I don't think they're going to run through it. I don't. Adebayo, Beal, Booker, Durant, Grant, Green, Holiday, Levine, Lillard, Kevin Love, Middleton, Jason Tatum. I mean, I don't think they're going to run through it.
And I'm going to tell you.
They lost to Nigeria.
If they don't, which they already are starting off bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear no more Kevin Durant talk.
The fact that they lost to Nigeria should change your opinion. The fact they already lost to Nigeria should change your opinion. And if you use the reason that they didn't have Booker and Middleton or Holiday as a reason,
I wouldn't even. There's no need to use it as a reason because they should have enough to freaking beat Nigeria without them 3. So I mean, there's no excuse you can make for them losing. Let's just be clear about that.
That's my point.
But my thing is, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's them not playing together very long because I don't know what there's no reason. Actually, with the talent they have, they should be able to beat anybody no matter what. So I mean, with that being said, it was terrible. I mean, but I still think they should. Just because they don't, maybe it's because they don't have a true leader on that team. We talking about Kevin Durant being a true leader, maybe not. Maybe Dame Lillard, true leader, maybe not. So maybe they don't have a true leader on that team. Doesn't look like it at this point to me.
Well, we are going to find out because the Olympics are coming, and we're going to see what Team USA does. Before we get out of here, Conor McGregor fought Poirier yesterday. I didn't watch the fight because that's not really my thing, to be honest. But I do look in to see who won, and I sometimes watch the highlights. And I was watching the highlights, and first of all, Conor McGregor, you know, he broke his ankle. Hope he gets better. You know, he will get better, but it's probably a career-ending thing. He's already on the back end of his career, and then having an injury like that, maybe not. He won't play anymore. I mean, fight anymore.
Oh,
But
yes,
prior
he
to
is.
that, huh, what did you say?
Oh, yes, he is. He already talking about it.
Oh, even if he does, that's great for him because I mean
Yeah.
that's what you want to see. But he was getting the brakes beat off of him from the clips I saw. Like I didn't see the whole first round prior to him getting hurt, but from the clips that they showed, they were only showing clips of Poirier like just boxing him in. They had one clip where he had him in like the headlock, like he was like his neck was like God, they're about to break his neck. It looked bad, man. I don't know if Conor McGregor wasn't just in shape, but if he not in shape, but if he just like wasn't as focused, or if he didn't put a lot into it, or maybe this guy Poirier is just the truth. I don't follow MMA that much, but
Well, you know, Poirier from the boot,
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know
Lafayette.
that. But it's good, good. Louisiana stand
So,
up.
so you know, yeah, and so you know, but with that being said, you know, watching that fight, I don't think, you know, everything I read. Of course, we neither one of us are big MMA people, but everything I have not read one article or one tweet or one opinion of anybody who didn't say that Poirier was wearing him out and busting him up before it even got started. So, with that
Mm-hmm.
being said, man, I think yeah, Connor just it wasn't happening. I mean, he knocked him out last time. I mean, it was and kudos to Poirier, man.
Yeah,
Kudos to Poirier. Not a whole lot I can say because to me, McGregor is just a joke at this point. It's more about publicity and
of course he
stunts. I
making
mean,
money.
bro, he was sitting on the ground with his leg broke, still talking crap. Like, bro, you lost. You on the ground. You lost. Not only did you lose, you snapped your ankle in half, and you still talking crap to him. Like your girl, you
You got to
talking about your
save
wife.
face.
But bro, what you talk? But he's screaming in the ring. Your wife gonna be DMing me later on tonight, which it was brought out that she did DM him and he proved it, which I don't know why, but that's neither here nor there. But you on the ground with a brace on your leg, talking about, yeah, your wife gonna be DM. No, she not. You gonna be in surgery, dog. Like, nah, she gonna be celebrating with her husband that just TKO'd you for the second time in a year. I
That'll be
mean,
funny.
it's just it blows my mind. It
That'll be
blows my
funny
mind.
is if he DM'd if Poirier DM'd McGregor from his wife's account and recorded it, catfished his ass, and then played the video later after McGregor started talking shit. You know,
That would be
that
hilarious.
would
That
be
would be very
hilarious.
hilarious.
But anyway, enough of that because you know, like I say, I'm not big into the fights. Speaking of the boot, shout out to Zayla Avant Garde. Um, she won the spelling bee from Louisiana. But the reason I bring her name up is because people probably didn't know until she won the spelling bee. She is a hooper. She can ball.